Hey guys. Hey guys. I think this is working all right. It's been a long while, but thank you for joining me today. Just doing a live stream, just going to do some Q&A and stuff like that to show you guys I'm still alive. First of all, shout outs to James Green, Aika Fario, Abdullah Muhammad, Garrett Dillars, Jeff Hoggs, how you doing, buddy? Gary Allen, Garrett, oh, I already said that. Trenton Postma, the Challenger. Wow, there's a lot of new people in here I haven't seen in a while. So, wow. Nice. Hold on a second, guys. I'm just. What is this highlight thing? Okay, I'm trying to figure this out. There's some new stuff on here I have not seen before. Um, so yeah. Sorry about that. Anyways, welcome to the live chat. Hope you guys doing well. If you have any questions or whatever you want to talk about, post them in the live chat. Again, it's been a while. I've been working on some stuff behind the scenes, kind of. Been doing that whole channel membership. I had it turned off for a while, and then turned it on, and I didn't say anything, and then people started subscribing. A couple of people, so I decided I need to like jump on that and start just doing some stuff for backstage access. Basically, if you click on join, you'll see all the uh, information. It's really easy. It's just simple. You support me on this channel, and then you get some extra stuff. That's about it. Everything else doesn't really change. Um, I'm still going to be making the same videos and stuff. It's just going to be extra stuff behind the scenes, and also creating some documents and stuff, so it'll be easier. For some of the mid level people can pick up documents and have like checklists and stuff like that, and things that go with certain videos and stuff, like a checklist for uh, the beginner's planted setup for low tech and stuff like it. Lots of stuff coming. I just gotta work on them. I've been lazy. That's pretty much where I've been. And contrary to Muhammad saying that I got COVID, I didn't get COVID. Actually, I tested negative for COVID when I was in the hospital on Monday. I was in the hospital to get a kidney biopsy, and that was super fun. Not really, but well, anyways, it feels weird. But it only took a day, and they're just seeing what's up. That's the problem when getting old. You got your body starts doing weird stuff, and you got to figure out what's going on. So, anyways, what do we got here in live chat? Let's see. Yeah, you guys are getting snow over there in the East Coast. It looks like, right, or towards the east. It's just been chilly here, but that's about how it goes. Someone has a question about just post it, Garrett. Post your question about shrimp. We'll see what we do. Also, I don't have all those nifty little tools I usually have with my live stream. Highlighting the questions and stuff, because I haven't done a live stream in a while, and then YouTube like shut off access to my API, so I have to like re-sign up for it and stuff again. So yeah, I am back. I am doing other stuff, like again doing the channel membership, but then there's a lot of videos that's stacking up that I need to get to. I just been lazy. I've been doing much. I tend to get this way. I do a whole slew of videos for a few months, and then I go and disappear for a few months. I don't know why I do. I do that mainly because I'm not huge in like trying to get in order to run a YouTube channel and get big, you have to keep constantly posting, and it just gets tiring. It gets annoying, and I rather have a nice time doing it rather than always trying to chase the next big thing. But I'm hoping the channel membership thing will keep me in line, getting more content out there, even if it's back end. It'll keep me going, kind of thing. So, hi Mary, how are you doing? Good to see you. Hippie Buddha 86. You're in Los Angeles. Nice. You're a neighbor here, right? Right now it's cold in Los Angeles. I had my heater on before I turned on this live stream. So, hi, the best. How are you doing? I'm not sure what PA brother means, but hey, how you doing? Joseph Hernandez, how are you doing? Hey, I'm creating a dry start with low light and Monte Carlo. Is there a fluval 99 good enough for the flood? You mean afterwards? Yeah, sure. You're going to run the problem with those fluval CO2 containers, which is, it'll work, but it'll run out quick. Especially when you're doing dry start. When you start flooding it, you're going to have to pump CO2 into it. So you're going to have to let a lot of CO2 into the tank and slowly wind it down, just so that you could accumulate your plants to it. Since you're using Monte Carlo, it's not that demanding, so hopefully it'll work out well. It's low light too, so the thing is once you flood, the Monte Carlo has to regrow again, and you have to chase it. Basically, is what you're doing when you're doing the dry start method. Once you flood, you have to chase the plants going, and doing that, it's a little harder with low light. But see what you can do. Again, it's Monte Carlo, so it's not that hard to. It's not that demanding to grow. Again, the Fluval 99, yeah, it'll work for you, but you're gonna find that it's gonna be a little. It's gonna be a little limited because you're gonna have to buy a lot of canisters, CO2 canisters. Those things run out pretty quick. That's why I always suggest don't waste time on a Fluval 99G or 80G or whatever. That's like $100 something bucks, and for that amount, you could set up a CO2 pressurized tank with those paintball canisters. Then you buy a cheap, decent CO2 paintball CO2 regulator and put it on a CO2 paintball bottle, right? Buy 2 of those and then fill them both at once at a paintball shop. That way you'll have one as a backup. When one runs out, you go and take that, change it up, take it, and go to the shop and get it refilled. So, Jake Metcalf is saying he's redecorating his room on Tuesday. Got a 3-gallon bowl come from Amazon on Friday and setting up the first wall stop method. I'm excited. Good. It's 3 gallons, a small little thing, so it should be easy to do. Just make sure you get the right fish for it, like one, or get really small little nano fish. The challenger, just post your questions and I'll try to get to it. Right now I don't have that nifty tool that I always use, so I have to slowly go through the chat here. So Garrett says that I bought cherry shrimps and pumpkin shrimps for my 5-gallon planted tank, and my cherry shrimps are hanging on my heater. The temperature is 78 to 80 degrees and water parameters are fine. Is that okay? Yeah, it's fine. It's not going to bug them. If it bugs them, they're not going to hang out on the heater. They probably like it because it's heat or something to cling on to. But that happens all the time. My shrimps do that. It's not going to bug them. If it does, they're just not going to hang out on it. I mean, it's life. If it's going to kill them, they're going to probably most likely not hang out there. Ike, for real, am I still keeping Tarantulas? Yes. Actually, my Arizona blonde died. This little thing here. He was a little sling, unfortunately. It was my fault. I didn't keep up with the watering on the sling, and that usually kills slings. I had to be more careful. So I have to pick up another Arizona blonde. They're really hard to keep when they're slings. That's one thing I noticed. My LP's doing great. A pink salmon eater, and the Chaco is doing great. He's getting big all the time. He's a really cool spider. I lost my Haramurai. He's escaped. I have no clue where he went. It was my fault. I put him in a box where it looked like it's about this size. Unfortunately, the box I had him in had a hinge, and it wasn't clamped down, and he was getting a little too big for the box, and I was about to transfer him to a bigger. I was about to rehouse him to a bigger home or box, but he escaped that same week right before I was about to transfer, and I can't find him. I have no clue where he is. He probably climbed into my closet somewhere and just hanging out. Who knows? But hopefully he's all right. I don't know, man. Yeah, but No big deal, but he was so pretty. I need to get another one now. So that's about, those two spiders right there cost me about $70, 60 bucks. But I get them from my friend, so he cuts me a good deal. Let's see. Let's hit Papa Bear. Pros and cons of using a circulating pump in a applying tank, and best location, top, bottom, mid, etc. Okay. Pros and cons of using a circulating pump. There is no cons really, other than if you put too much flow in it, it might bug your livestock in it. But usually there's not a problem with it. Just make sure you get the flow going. It's not too much. You'll know it's too much if your fish keeps freaking out. And the best location is wherever you get the best circulation, basically. For example, when the pump's coming out of my tank from my filter, see if I have, let's do this. All right, so this is the tank, right? So if I had the pump coming out of my filter and it's shooting out, the output of the filter is coming out this way, I'm going to get the flow moving here, hit the wall, come back down like this. Assuming that I don't get enough flow coming from the filter, which I usually do. I always make sure, that's why I make sure the GPH is high enough for the size of my tank. I always go a lot more, like I say or Joey says, 6 times to 10 times more GPH than the size of your tank per hour, right? If I don't get enough, then obviously the water's going to go this way and hit against this wall and dissipate, right? So what I would do is put a pump here and push it this way, so you'll get the circular motion here. Or if you're aiming the water coming down from your filter down here, you're not getting enough GPH to get the flow going, and all it does is go down here, hit, and dissipate. I would put the pump here and push the water that way. Very simple. Just make sure that you put it in a place where the flow is going to go. Now, honestly, I don't know what you can put in your tank to see how the flow goes. I should actually research that and see if there's anything I could like food coloring or something. But I don't know if that's a good idea to put in your tank. I'll have to research that. But, just so you can see the flow going in your tank and see what's going. James Green, lazy is fine. Yeah. You don't want it to become a job. Yeah, it really depends. I mean, you get some money off of it, but I got a full-time job I have to worry about. So it's one of those things. Being an IT director for a company, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of hours. So it is hours that, you have to do outside of the job sometimes too. It just goes with the territory. Joseph Hernandez, I have an adapter so I can transfer to a paintball CO2 gun. Hopefully I can figure that out. I'm new to CO2. Yeah, adapter so I can transfer to a paintball CO2 gun. I'm not sure why you want to transfer to a paintball CO2 gun. You mean paintball CO2 regulator? The regulator should fit right on the CO2 paintball tank. If you have an adapter, then you put it on the regulator and then to your paintball CO2 tank. So it's not that hard to figure out. You just have to make sure that you have the seals, all right, for the connections. If you don't have the seal, you're going to get leaks for the CO2. So Trenton Postma says, what CO2 regulators would you suggest for a 10 to 15 pound tank? I would just get one from Amazon. I mean, let's take a look. Hopefully I don't get messed up on this here. So let's CO2 regulators. Now you can go really expensive and you could go and get CO2 Arts or one of those places. They're really nicely made and they back it up. All right. So if you want to do that, you'll spend the money on it. They're good regulators. But if you don't and you want to save money, which I usually do, because I find that I could fix it myself if something goes wrong. I've put regulators together before, so it's not that hard to figure out what to fix. But usually, when you do, I heard F zones. I hear that F-zone works well. Some people don't think it works well, so it's a give or take. But this looks like it works pretty well, so this would work good. It's only $65. It is a dual gauge display, but let's see if it's actually dual gauge state or dual stages. I believe this might be a dual stage regulator. Now you want to stick with dual stage regulator, not dual gauge. Dual gauge means there's two gauges here, but dual stage is the way the regulator is made. I'm not sure if this is dual stage. Yeah, it could be. You have to look. I would usually go with the dual stage regulators because that way your output of your CO2 would be consistent. Now the only time that it will not be consistent is single stage. When you get a single stage regulator, it's what happens is as the CO2 is getting used up in your tank, less and less. If it's a single stage regulator, it doesn't regulate the pressure, because as you lose more pressure in the tank, the less pressure comes out. So a dual stage, what it does is regulates that. It keeps that consistent. So if you don't have that, you have a single stage, you have a chance of it just completely dumping into your tank, meaning just release CO2 all at once, and it will kill your fish or anything in your tank because it's a huge dump. Now that it's just a chance that it'll happen. Does it happen? Not all the time, okay? But there is a chance of it happening. There's less of a chance happening with a dual stage. It can happen, but less of a chance, okay? So you're basically just stacking your chances to make it less of a chance of it dumping into your tank with a dual stage. I always suggest dual stage if you can, depending on your budget. It's a little more expensive. Make sure you check that. So we have the F-zone aquarium over here. There are some other ones that you get from China, but right now with the COVID stuff, not entirely sure how easy it is to get. Here's one for. Here's another dual gauge, but it's not. Remember, dual gauge versus dual stage are two different things. Now you can always build your own, but you have to look that up on the internet. There's instructions on how to build your own and where to get the parts and stuff. Now you have these ones right here that looks like this. This comes out here. This is for brewing, but some of these brewing ones are actually pretty nice. They're for brewing beer. So what you would do is take this part right here, this nipple part, and change it out and then place it with a solenoid, right? And then on your solenoid, you put your bubble counter or needle valve, right? So that it gets a little complicated now that we're getting into it. But if you want to buy something that already has stuff in it, check Amazon. I always look here just to see what there are. Like this one here, I'm not sure how well. It's a chance that you're going to take if you get non-branded stuff. But most of the time, I never had a problem with it. I think I had a problem with one that I bought once. And since it was Amazon, I was able to return it. So that's good. And some of these China products, made in China products, if you complain about it or you write them or you put a bad review on it, they will sometimes most likely just send you another one. It's so cheap for them to send you another one, first of all. And second, it's just not the hassle for them to get a bad review. So most of the time they'll just say, oh, we'll just send you another one. You probably got a bad one. And it happens. This one is the F-zone for the CO2, paintball CO2 regulators, right? Or paintball tanks, right here. So this one's $95, and that's about the price you're going to get for those paintball CO2 regulators. Okay, that's mainly because it's a specialty item, or at least they're quote-unquote specialty items. You know, you slap Aquarium in front of it, suddenly it's expensive. So that's one thing you have to keep in mind about. But yeah, I just look on Amazon. That's what I do, or eBay, and then just chance it. I have no problem with chancing with stuff. One is cheap enough. Second, some of these made in Chinese companies, they'll just replace it, no questions asked. if you just say, hey, this is not working. Mary Page says, I sure do appreciate videos on CO2. I'm trying to learn enough to try it myself. It's not that hard. It's going to be really weird at first, trying to figure everything out. But once you get it down, trust me, you're just going to hit yourself and go, why did I just do this sooner? It is really easy once you figure it out. Ike for real. I just got root tabs from Chem Flourish tab. A bit hesitant to add it in my gravel because of the negative effects of the water column. What do you mean the negative effects of the water column? I'm not entirely sure what you mean by that. It shouldn't have negative effects on the water column. The only thing that it might do is just add more nutrients in your water column. It might leach into the water column. It might, and it should. It will, but it's very little though. Even if I do root tabs on a inert substrate, I still dose my tank. Challenger says she has a question about the soil that I asked what he was using, and I'll go down in a bit. That was during conversation we had in the comments. I'll figure out when I get to it. Garrett says, thank you for your C2 videos. I spent $130 on the CO2 paintball system. Nice for my 5-gallon. Very nice. And it's doing fantastic. That's what it's all about, man. And it's $130 investment, but it's a great investment. Your CO2 is a game changer for planting tanks. So HAR uses a CO2 fire extinguisher for 10 kilograms for 3 of my fish tank. That's cool. So for you guys that don't know, CO2 tanks fire extinguishers can also be used as CO2 tanks. You just have to get the right fire extinguisher and the right attachments to just change it out. Mary Philan, you already know we're balling on a budget. Yeah, we're all balling on a budget. For a lot of us, it does get expensive. But again, it depends on how much you want to put into your hobby, right? Once you figure it out, you realize that it is worth the money, especially if you decide to do like really nice blind tags and stuff. You want to get that and see how easy it is, then you'll know it's worth the money. Hey, Ahmed, Barwani, welcome to the chat. Sorry about your sling. I'm just keeping 3 LP slings. Those LPs are going to get big. You're kidding, 3 of them though? Yeah, they take a while to get bigger though. So, you got time. Here we go, the Challenger. He's asking, I'm using the Jiffy Natural and Organic Seed starting mix, and I'm not sure if I mixed it wrong, but the soil keeps floating up when I fill it up. Alright, so first of all, I'm not sure how much of the soil is lifting and floating up. When I do soil tanks, there will be stuff that'll be floating up and stuff, and I'll just net them out. And that's going to happen. But if your soil that you use, your mix, and I'm not sure if you should be using a mix, a starting mix like that, because I looked it up and I wasn't too sure that would be something you really want to use because it's very light. It looked very light to me. So you might want to change that out. If all of it's floating, then it's not going to work. It's the wrong type of soil you want. You want to get soil that's potting soil mix rather than organic seed starting mix. That one I'm not entirely sure what that's made for. I think that's just made for potted plants. For seeds, okay? For seed, before it starts growing big, you start growing seeds on the plants. There's different stages when you do it that way, and that won't transfer really well into an aquarium setting. You want something that is potting mix, that isn't for seeds. All right, so that might be your problem there. If everything's floating up, then you have a problem. You'll probably need to switch out, start again, use a different type of soil. Batman Aquatics, hope everyone's staying warm. Joseph Hernandez, so can I connect the Fluval 99G to a paintball tank with a adapter? Most likely not. That's not the type of Regulator, you know what? Let's take a look. You're talking about the Fluval 99G, right? So, what is that one? And you might be able to, let me see, because I'm not entirely sure what the 99G looks like. Yeah, there is no Fluval 99G, so Fluval CO2. I mean, all I know is that they have this small kit. They have the what is this, the 30 gram kit. This one. What's the other one? They have that bigger one, which is the 80G, I think. And those regulators that come with those kits will not do well on a regulator like or on a tank like a CO2 paintball tank. It's too big. I mean, you can try it, but I wouldn't suggest it. And I don't know if there's an actual adapter out for it. You know, people might have made it. If they did, then go ahead and try it, I guess. But again, I wouldn't suggest it, because the regulators are made for the cartridges, not a tank, right? So it's a different type of make. K-Lord's Aquatics. I have orange Neos coming a day late UPS from Priscilla today. They're tough, so I expect they'll be cold but alive. Hopefully they'll be alright, because I don't know where you're at. It's been cold lately, so hopefully Priscilla did put heat packs into those into the shipping box. Alright, Garrett asks, what is a good all-in-one CO2 long-lasting system for a 5-gallon tank? My brother did not want to spend $200 on paintball system. You tell him just go do it yourself. That's going to cost him about $20 to make around, you know, after getting all the materials and stuff for a 5-gallon tank. And then he'll be all set. It's just a pain in the butt to do, but that'll last for as long as you want to go. The problem is after a while, you know, after months, all that money you're going to, well, after all the years you use a DIY system, that money could have been spent on getting a decent paintball system. But like someone mentioned earlier, they got a CO2 paintball system regular for about $130. That's about right. About $50 to $60 for the regulator, $30 for the tank. Get it refilled, and you get all the other parts to it. It's really not that. You get it for under $100. Har says, get a CO2 fire extinguisher. They're cheap. I think they are cheap. You just have to get the CO2 kind. All right, do not get the foam kind or the wet kind. You need to get the ones that uses CO2 and not the water kind. But I think you use the water CO2 extinguisher and switch it to CO2. I'm not sure about that. That's completely out of my league. I just know that you just get a fire extinguisher that holds CO2 and just get the adapters for it. I know that they do that a lot up in England, in the UK. But you do that here too in the US. Acier is asking if red-tailed fish could predate amano shrimps. You mean eat them? If they're big, if fish are big enough, and they like to eat other fish or shrimps, they will. But I don't know if the red-tail will. The red-tail catfish, I'm assuming, they usually eat anything they can put in their mouths. Hi, San Gorbani. Welcome to the chat. He's from Iran. Cool. Fat Man Aquatics. Oh, just replying. Let's see what else. Is there any other questions? Yeah, Ray Aquatic. It has been a minute. I'm here. I'm just doing it. I'm just lazy, but I'll get back to the videos. Just again, I am doing the channel membership stuff. So if you guys want to support the channel, you guys can check that out. I'm gonna add extra stuff to it. You can check out the levels, what they are. It's the second level that's going to be really cool because I'm gonna be starting doing documents and stuff that you can download. That'll help with that goes along with the videos and stuff. Check cheat sheets and stuff like that. The Har says that dual stage regulators are usually more robust and large. That's how you can distinguish between single stage and dual stage regulators. Yeah, that's why I was looking at the bulk of the regulator, and that's why I said I wasn't too sure if that was a dual stage. But most of the time, you just look at the product label. Mohammed Hussein, hey, welcome to the chat. You're from Pakistan. That's so cool. Well, hello to Pakistan. CO2 system very expensive in Iran. Yeah, unfortunately, places where you guys are at, Iran, Pakistan, all this stuff, it's a little more expensive to get. I'm not entirely sure how to, work around your markets and stuff like that. I don't know, because here in the US, you just go on Amazon, you just buy stuff. Or go to a local store or whatever. You can build them too, and we have hardware stores to do that, and they're all over the place and stuff. So, see, I've never been to Iran, so I can't tell you. Must be, I don't know, I've never been to Iran, but it'd be a cool place to check out. Pakistan too. Touristy kind of thing, I guess. Aaron Tyler, hello from UK. Hey, how you doing? Such an underrated channel. Well, thank you. No problem, Mike. You are welcome. Pharrell Scales, love you, guys. Thank you very much, dude. Ralph, Kunan. All right. Any thoughts on underground gravel filter? They work. They're old tech, but they still work. All right. But I would not use an underground filter as an underground filter. I would actually convert that into a plenum. All right. If you don't know what that is, I'll probably make a series of videos about plenums as I'm getting into using plenums or looking into using plenums. Not as much as using a Noxus filter, which I'm really going to get deep into doing for the setups of the new tanks that I'm doing. So we're going to get deep into a lot about what Noxus filters are, why plenums really work and stuff, because I'm learning a lot from Dr. Novak's channel about all that. And I want to see how well they work, especially for my 120 that I'm setting up as a discus tank. I'm going to try to rack up my mind, trying to figure out, do I want to do the sump underneath or do an overhang sump on the tank, plant, flowers, pothos or whatever above it, and make this nice looking scene above the tank. I just got to figure out how to hold that over tank sump, which is kind of like a flowering pot, like long flowering pot type of thing. And then pull the water up from it and then get the water back down from it. That should be easy. It's just figuring out how to hold it, without, I guess, pulling the walls down on my place. So I might have to make a stand that conforms to that. So underground filter, that's fine. They're just a little hard. I think they're just a pain to deal with. But more normally, when you set up an underground filter, that's it. You leave it. You let it run. Your substrate area starts becoming your filter. It's basically what it is. But if you switch it into a plenum, which Dr. Novak has videos on about how to do, it makes it even better. 100 times better. Bixby voice to continue. That's really annoying. That's my phone. I don't know why Bixby keeps doing that. Really annoying. No. Do not want to update you. Because I don't even use you. Alright. So again, thanks Ralph for that question about underground filters. The best, I think he's talking about the 88. Yeah, I think he's talking about the 88 too. Yeah, I would not take the 88 regulator and then put it on the paintball tank. It just doesn't work that way. It's the wrong kind of regulator. Platty Boy, what is your thoughts on liquid CO2? Buddy, My thoughts on liquid CO2 you'll get from watching my liquid CO2 video. Which one is that, guys? Let's see. Where is my channel? Let's go to my channel. It was one of my latest videos. Where was it? Where'd it go? There it is. Poppycock. Does fluorescent cell work? Right? This whole video, I go through the whole thing about liquid carbon CO2. But if you ask me right now, it's just bull. It's not anything to do with CO2. What it's great for? Killing algae. That's about it. Otherwise, it's just bull. I don't think it works. I know it. Well, personally, in my experience, it doesn't work. I can't say if I know it works for sure or not. But it's just a waste of money. I do have liquid CO2, though. I have Excel, a bottle of it. And I use it. You know what I use it for? Killing algae. To control algae. It does work for that really well. And also, if I want to kill certain plants because I hate them and they call me names or something, I would pour some Excel in it and kill them. That's the other thing it's good for. Killing certain plants that doesn't not like it. Hey Susan, how you doing? Susan from SL Aquatics in the house. Alright, the best ass. I bought the Fluval 20-gallon mini CO2 kit. Can I add CO2 every other day, or do my plants need it every day? Every day is better. You can do it every other day. It still help. But I would suggest doing it every day. You can do it every other day. It still helps. Now, you're working with the passive system. So, doing a passive system, it's not like injecting CO2. So doing it every day helps the plants better than doing it every other 2 days. But it will still help if you do it every other 2 days or every other day. Ralph Conan is asking, can underground filters work for carpeted tanks? I plan on doing one. Yes, it'll work fine. Now with the underground filter, what works great with underground filters is dosing your water column. I mean, I always suggest dosing, always, to get nutrients in the water column. But when you do that with the underground filter is pulling the water into the substrate. So make sure that you do dose your water column, and that will work really well because now your underground filter is pulling the water and the nutrients into the roots. Okay? So that's one of the great things, the pros about using your underground filter that way. Lisa, how you doing? So she has a plant tank and the water keeps turning yellow. What would that be? Are you using soil? It could be a lot of things, but let me know if you're using soil. If it's turning yellow, it might be a bacterial bloom or whatever, but you can use this, which is, let's see, Secam Peregrine. There he goes. You use this, put it in a bag, put it in your filter, and it should clear it up in a day or two. Actually, it should clear it up pretty quick in a day or whatever. I'm not sure what is making it yellow. First of all, if you're using, if you are using soil or you have driftwood in your tank, it's most likely just tannins, right? So tannins will go away over time with water changes, or you use that Peregrine stuff and it'll take it right out in a day or two. If you have driftwood or using soil in your tank and you get that yellow stuff, that's tannins. And that's okay for fish. Fish love tannin, right? But we don't. We want to see our fish, right? So again, it'll go away over time for water changes or use Peregrine. Evangelon, Can Anubias uptake liquid ferts in a 8.0 pH environment, and will there be die off 80 degrees plus or conversion? Anubias are usually very hardy, and they should be okay at that warm of a temperature. They're pretty hardy, so they should do okay at 8.0 pH. Again, Anubias are rhizome plants, so it should be okay as long as you're dosing the water column. You should be good with the Anubias. The only problem is the only thing that you're gonna worry about with pH is if the plants are rooted into the substrate. But with the Anubias, it's a little different. They're very hardy. Temperatures of 84 should be okay. It can stand that, usually. But again, give it enough light, give it enough ferts, and it should do okay. Color Aquatics. Yeah, hit the like, please. That's right. Let's take a break. Hit that like. That's something I have to say because I'm a YouTuber. Blah, 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 blah. Q-Master, how long do plants need to get red? And what do we need to get them red in the first place? Okay, first of all, you got to get plants that are red underwater. All right? Because there are plants that grow red, that submerged or immersive, and then when you put them in water, they're not that color anymore. Right? Like Lobelis, they're purple when you grow them outside of the water. But when you put them in, they turn green. So first of all, you got to make sure it's a red plant. Second, red plants turn red for certain reasons, and it depends on the plant species itself. So when you say, well, how do I get red plants turn more red? What kind? What type of plants are you talking about? Right? Some red plants turn red, mainly a lot of them, most of them, intensity of light. More they grow towards the light, the closer they get, the redder they get. So if you have intense lighting, that's a good way to get plants red. Some plants do turn red because there's less nitrates in the water column or in the tank. All right, no nitrates like on some plants. Like I think, damn it, I can't remember the name of the plant, but there's a plant that does really well when there's no nitrates in the tank. Okay, that's another thing with plants is that certain environments or certain type of things makes them more red. The other thing, why does this keep turning on? The other thing you do to make them look more red is artificially get a more warm light. Okay, a light that's like 3,000 kelvins, 4,000 kelvins. You have a more warmer light, it makes your tank look a lot more warm. So the warmer your tank looks, the more red plants look in your tank. So that's the cheaty way to do it. But it works too. It's just how well or how you wish to make your tank look, the feel of it. Okay, and that's one of those things about aquascaping is that it's not about just growing plants and stuff. You want to look a certain way. If you want to plant them a certain way, you want to make them look like a sunset or whatever, using lights or transparent backgrounds and stuff helps. And then the color temperature of the light you're using also makes a difference too. Okay? Let's see, where are we at? Son, your handmade soil was great for plants. I'm not too sure. Either you're talking to someone else or I don't know. I don't make handmade soil. There's a YouTube video that shows how he connected his 95G Fluval CO2 kit tank, planet tank with a paintball. Okay, so you're saying that there's a YouTube out there? Go with it and see if it works. Personally, I wouldn't do it. I would spend the extra money to get a regulator that works actually for it. But again, I can't say. I really can't say. Because I've never done it before myself. Again, you keep saying 95G now. So I'm assuming you mean 88G. There's no 99, there's no 95. ADHD. It has a regulator on it. If you could do it, then do it. If that guy says that works, then do it. Personally, I wouldn't waste money on the Fluval kit right there. The only one money I would spend is on that 20G system that they have, because it's a passive system and it works great for small tanks. Okay. Div Dumb Drop Hello asks, how can I help a mystery snail whose shell is not very strong and has healing cracks? Okay. If there's a problem with that, and that it started in your tank, your water does not have calcium in it, or it doesn't have enough. I checked the levels of your calcium and add a little calcium to your tank. I completely forgot how to do that. There's a certain, you can add calcium to your tank. I forgot what you add to do that. But look that up. Most likely you don't have enough calcium in your tank. And if that's happening, your plants are probably all wiggly and wiltery as well. If you have shrimp and all that stuff, it's not going to be good for them either. So make sure your you have calcium in your tank. Not too much, but enough. Fatman Aquatics, I've heard people putting tums in their tank as calcium boost. Never heard of that. That might actually work. Maybe. Don't know. Don't go by my word. Look it up. Driftwood, Lisa. It's your driftwood, Lisa. So again, Lisa's just to reiterate, her question was her water's turning yellow. It's definitely tannins. It's coming from her driftwood. So Lisa, you can wait it out or get the Paragam, the Seachem Paragam stuff. So you have to go back on the video. This stuff right here. All right, you get one of these. It's only $15. Put it in an old mesh bag. Put it in your filter. Put it in for a day, overnight. It should all be gone by then. And then take it out. If it comes back, use more. Do it again. Either way, it'll go away after a while. It's just all the stuff coming in from your driftwood, which is good too. First of all, fish likes it, but it also softens the water in your tank a little. So, yeah, and happy Valentine's Days to people. That's tomorrow, right? So. So div dumb drop hello. I'm currently giving the snail healing with a cracked shell, a clean seashell. And then I added a piece of clean coral. They're getting some calcium from the food. Is that enough? I checked the calcium in your water, the calcium level in your water. Woozy says Happy New Year to you too. It is the Chinese New Year. The Best asks that my plants have some yellow leaf. Is that because they need iron? Can I put hand forged iron nail in the tank for iron? I wouldn't do that. First of all, don't do that, okay? But what you can do is just dose iron. Yellow could also be potassium, I think. Let's see. Let's go ahead. Look at some charts. And I often do this. So there's these charts. Iron deficiency could also be what is it? Magnesium? No, nitrogen deficiency. So you might want to double check this. Might be iron. Most likely it is iron, because you get nitrogen all the time in your tank from your livestock. Sources of nitrogen. So I would just dose iron. That's the easiest way to do it. Dose iron. Don't put a rusty nail in your tank. That's not good. If it's not good, it should be not good. So I do not suggest that. Okay, Laura. Okay, you give up. Where's the join button? Why are you giving up? By the way, that all the backstage stuff I'm still working on, but I'm gonna start releasing stuff soon. I mean, Lisa's been she's joined up. Like she was one of the first ones that joined up, so she's like my VIP, like super VIP founder members. So that's really cool. Oh, by the way, Lisa, I am making a video for you because I know you're a little questionable about using CO2 and all that stuff, and about where to start. So I'm actually making a video dedicated to what is that noise? It must be vacuuming next door. I am making a video dedicated for you, just about crash course about getting into CO2, because all my CO2 videos, you have the series, and you have all these other CO2 videos all around that I made. But for a beginner, when you get into it, I know you guys, when I did it, when I was like very new, and when I was very new doing CO2, that was way back when there wasn't even YouTube. Okay, it's very hard to understand different types of CO2, where you should start. There's different methods and stuff like that, and trying to get it by little videos is really hard. So I have one video that's going to kind of drill everything down right into one video, and then just shoot you off to the suggested videos and stuff. So hopefully that video will help you. Let's see. Are you guys hearing that? If you are, I am so sorry. They are doing some vacuum. I think they're doing construction next door. Game Jahaja. Can I grow carpet on a thin gravel? Probably. Only way to know is try it. I don't know what kind of carpet you want to grow on it. Make sure you just dose your tank. Oh, there you go. Pew fish zone. That's what cut a bone you could use for calcium. Just you gotta make sure that you don't overdose calcium or don't put too much in it. If you do, your water's gonna get harder. Q Master, how often should I change the filter floss? Every time it gets dirty. I change filter floss every time I do monthly water change. I do about monthly. Sometimes I don't because it's not that clogged, but when it gets really clogged, I do it. Sorry, excuse me, guys. Jinsen Sama, what's your opinion about father fish methods? I don't know. I don't watch his channel, so I'm not sure what you're really talking about. I know who Father Fish is, I think. If it's the same person you're talking about, he's another YouTube channel. But I don't watch his channel, so I'm not sure what you mean by his methods. Or you mean by his methods? I'm not sure. I don't know which method you're talking about. Oh, good to hear, Daniel. Good luck with the TriStar. Hopefully it'll grow out well. Is there any other tips for either CO2 in it? Just let it go. Let it grow. Just make sure you just be patient. Alright? Make sure you have a trim carpet. 2.7 gallon tank, so hopefully you have it all set up well. Dwarf baby tears need a lot of lighting, so make sure you have that. And it's going to be a little bouncing act at first, but just be patient about it. Does GH or KH test for calcium? No, not really. Not calcium in itself. GH is the accumulation of calcium and other stuff. What is your GH? That's the question. If your GH is lower than 4, get it to 4. Alright? You might want to get it to 5 or something like that by adding a little calcium into it. You know, a lot of people say, soft water is great for plant tank, which it is. But you have to understand why soft water is good for plant tanks. Is because it's easier for the plants to uproot first from the roots. But if you don't have that many rooted plants, then it shouldn't matter too much. Okay, it'll still do well in soft water, but you don't want to get too soft where there's just no calcium or other stuff that you need the rest of your tank to thrive. So again, don't try to get into 0 GH or KH, and I would not suggest that at all, especially 0 KH. You're going to crash your tank. Memphis Scullywag. My girlfriend called me worthless and said I'll see a casket before I get a job again. I have anxiety. What do you think? Can you help me? No. I suggest you get professional help. Call a therapist or something. So Ralph Conans asks, how often can I breed shrimps into my fish? I'll feed brine shrimp to my fish. I have guppies, betas, beta, neo tetras, and some cherry and ghost shrimps. It's not the same tank with them. Alternate. You feed them brine shrimp as much as you want, but I'd alternate and make sure that they have a variety of foods. Alright, you guys are saying some weird stuff. I'm not sure. You guys probably playing that girlfriend thing. Memphis. Lose the negative girlfriend, right? You don't need that negativity. Lose the girlfriend. Hey, Anthony, Fishy Friends. How you doing, buddy? Yeah, I'm doing fine. I just had a kidney biopsy now. I'm just waiting for the results. Got to go in on Monday and then talk to the doc about it. Hopefully it's not bad. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, when you don't take care of it, if you got diabetes, you don't take care of it. And all that stuff. But it's all part of the, I guess, it's just all part of it. You know, when you have a heart attack and all that stuff, and then, you know, you got diabetes you haven't been treating for years. It just all accumulates into bad stuff. So, you know, it all works. It happens. We'll see what happens. But yeah, if you guys have no more questions, it's definitely been really cool hanging out with all you guys. So I'm gonna wait another few minutes here. We're almost at an hour. It's 57 minutes so far. So yeah, I think we'll call it a good one if you guys don't have any more questions. But yeah, I do miss you guys. Again, I am doing the channel membership thing. I finally want to kickstart it up. It's been on, but I've never really pushed it. So I'm kind of pushing it now. Go in, you have the different levels, and does it even work if I do this? Here, I'll run through it really quick. If you click join, there you go. I'll have that video up soon, but there you have the VIP access, which gives you just, you know, backstage live streams. I'll do a lot more live streams than I ever do in the front end. I don't really do live streams like I do right now. I do very seldomly. But I'll have to do a lot more for my backstage members. Backstage posts, you just hear me post about whatever, right? Exclusive backstage videos, I actually have one up now, but I'll do where some, it's not all going to be about aquariums. It might be me just being dumb or whatever, or just really, you know, stuff that I would not put on my front end, on my channel, on the front end, because of my channel, mainly a lot of tutorials, a lot of stuff that's, you know, organized and stuff. The backstage videos will be less organized. Probably a lot more fun, too. Early access to new videos, I'm going to try that out. I'm not sure how it will work, but you'll get early access to videos that I will release. If you get the backstage gold access, you'll have discounted merchandise to my merchandise store that no one ever buys things from, but maybe if I start pushing it, people will, and I start designing t-shirts and stuff, people will. And exclusive digital content. And that's the thing that's going to be really cool, is because I want to make cheat sheets and other stuff, document stuff you can print up, or little Excel sheets or apps and stuff like that you'll be able to go in and do things with. So you'll be able to get that. And then you have that backstage platinum access. Right now, all it is a monthly meet and greet. And if if people sign up for that, it's great. I'll do meet and greets. For right now, no one's up on that level, so I don't do it. Basic meet and greet is basically like this, but we're gonna do it in Zoom. So we're gonna do some face-to-face time, Zoom or some other meet and greet app they have out there. There's so many now. But yeah, I figured this will give me some more support on the channel, get more money in so I can actually buy stuff and do reviews on. Which, by the way, Hager, I don't know if you guys heard of that company, sent me some lights to check out, and I was like, well, let's do that. Let me check out some of your lights because it's about the same price as Beam's work kind of lighting. So I want to see if that budget lighting actually works well. So they sent me two to test out. So I have to do tests and stuff on it. So yeah. So back on the stream, Courtney, how are you doing? Your CO2 videos, very helpful.
You need to
Thank you very much. Shut up, Bixby. Oh my god, I am so going to turn her off. I don't know why she keeps doing that. She does that too when I'm watching TV. Alright. Joseph Hernandez, what's the best way to talk to me if you want some advice? Join our Facebook group. That's the best way to ask for advice. I'm usually on there. I usually do answer. If not, I have staff there or people or moderators that will be able to usually answer your questions. Q-Master, I have Chinese golden algae eaters and I see leaves floating all the time. Could they be the kind? It could be. Fish are their fishes are known to pull at plants and stuff. I had fish that did it all the time. It's annoying, but hey, if they're fine with it and it doesn't kill all the whole plant, that's okay. But it could be from your Chinese algae eater. They get aggressive sometimes, and sometimes they just swim really fast and they're just knocking the leaves all over the place. Spencer Diaz, welcome to chat. Unfortunately, I'm about to leave though. Memphis, I'm a sissy, so light. Aw, it's okay being a sissy. There's nothing wrong with being a sissy. Kaylor, new diabetic here, finally controlled diet and oral meds. Old RN makes it so hard. Yeah. It's always about, when it comes to diabetes, it's all about the lifestyle changes, and the hardest part is the diet. Especially for me when I was diagnosed with it after my heart attack. I'm Asian, and Asians love rice, white rice, and that's the most horrific thing you can have as a diabetic. But it's usually with the diet, but once you get used to it, it's really easy to do. Ralph, another question. I want to buy liquid fridge for my plant tank, but I don't want to get too technical with it. Can you please recommend me one fridge that covered most of my time need? Just one. Okay, so get an all-in-one. Start there. There are many that I could suggest. But what I would suggest mostly is this. Let's see. Is all-in-one Thrive. This is some really good stuff. Now you get other stuff. There's I think Aquarium Co-op does one. Corey from Aquarium Co-op, they have their own brand. But Thrive works, I think, probably the best that I've seen, that I've experimented with. Okay, so it depends on which Thrive you want to get. You can get the one, the Thrive S, all-in-one shrimp-specific liquid fertilizer. So if you have a shrimp tank, that's what you use. But if not, you use the Thrive all-in-one or the Thrive Plus. So the difference between the two is whether or not you want to use a lot more nitrogen or not. Okay, it depends on your bio load. So if you have a lot of fish, a lot of bio load, you want to get the one that has less nitrogen in it. I think that would be, let's see, no nitrogen on that one. Nitrogen on this one. And the iron. So you might want to, if you have a lot more stuff in your tank, a lot more livestock, then just get the Thrive. But if you don't, get the Thrive Plus. And this stuff works great, and a lot of people swear by it. That's pretty much what I'm starting to recommend now is the Nikon Nilok G. I can never pronounce that. It's Nilok G. It's so funny. But the guy's a nice guy too. I talked to him a couple of times about my order because I ordered a bunch of stuff from him to do the nutrient series that's coming up, which I'm supposed to be doing, but I haven't been doing because I've been lazy. So I have it all written out. I just have to sit down and film it, which is the worst part because I hate the filming part. But yeah, that's the one I recommend, Ralph. Give that one. All right, Fatman Aquatics, have a good one. Rue, how do you reduce aggression on bluegill? I don't know. I don't know enough about bluegill. You're gonna have to ask someone else about that. Coast Guard 5, it's been a really hard year. I lost 4 family. Wow, 2 pets and 2 grandparents. COVID and my dad fired. So yeah, and your grades are great to keep me distracted. Sorry to hear about that, man. It's a tough year for a lot of people, and that's really, ooh, sorry about that, man. All right, Tono, thank you very much. Have a good one. L177, and my plants like them nutrient, nitrates, minerals. Why do we do water change? Because there's more than those things in the tank that you need to do water changes. If you have a nicely planted tank, a fully planted tank, and it's eating all the nutrients, then you won't have to do water changes all that much. But then there's other things. There's other things that are in your tank, which again is a long explanation in here. But you still want to do water changes, even if you don't have to. Like the Noxus filter system that I'm setting up for my tanks is supposed to keep it completely nitrate free, which I'm not sure is good for the plants, but I'll be dosing the plants with nitrates if it needs it. So I would be manually doing that. Because of using a Nox filter that way, you're supposed to not have to do water changes all the time, but I'm still going to do them because there's other stuff that's going to build up in your tank other than those nutrients that plants uptake. Right? There's other nutrients in or I wouldn't call them nutrients, but there are other factors in your tank that builds up over time. All right, guys. Looking good, guys. I am going to call it quits right now. So, anyways, thank you guys for joining me. If you're up for it, hit that join button. Join the backstage, get a backstage pass, and well, I'll work on the nitty gritties in the back, especially if there's going to be a lot more people joining. And yeah, I had a good time. I hope I answered all your questions as best as I can. And have a good weekend. Have a happy Thanksgiving and I guess President's Day. Happy President Day. I don't know if you're president, so if you're president, then happy President Day to you. Unless you're Trump, you go F yourself. Okay, I don't know why I put that in there. I usually don't get political. But anyways, guys, have a good weekend. I will talk at you guys later, and have a good one. Bye.